Hi, welcome to SimpTalks. Tonight's topic, my thoughts on the My Little Pony, or MLP, whatever for short, whatever you want to call it, / Brony fandom. Now, a lot of you know, what is My Little Pony? I'm pretty sure everybody knows what My Little Pony is. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is a show that released on October 10th, 2010, and it garnered a huge attention from fans, and this is where the term Brony came into place after somebody on 4chan made the name up, and it became a viral term that grown men call themselves as bronies, or teenagers that are into My Little Pony. Now, what are my thoughts on the My Little Ponies, or MLP for short, / Brony fandom? Not gonna lie, yes, I like the fandom, and I like My Little Pony. Now, sure, there are some, brony degenerates out there, and I do not support their actions, but not all bronies are bad people. I've met a few that are decent. They're not that bad. Some are weirdos, yes, but not all of them are like this. Now, I started getting into My Little Pony ever since right after I got into creepypastas. And a lot of you probably may know when the whole, Brony fandom was, that's when they started making these My Little Pony creepypastas. Like, for those of you that probably remember that one fanfic, that one My Little Pony / fanfic, or grimdark, as they now call these horror My Little Pony fanfics now. There is a story called Cupcakes, where Pinkie Pie ends up murdering Rainbow Dash for a special ingredient for cupcakes. And you have to really, if you guys don't know what that is, you'll have to watch yourself. It is graphic, but I've seen it myself. I don't mind seeing such gory material. I'm an adult. I've seen fucking worse. But for those of you that would probably remember that, you were disturbed at the time when you seen it. I don't blame you. Because, yeah, being a beginner in the fandom and seeing that for the first time, it can disturb you at first, but the more, if you watch it constantly now, you grow numb to it. But this is where the My Little Pony creepypasta / grimdark fanfics started coming into place. Like, there's Rainbow Factory, there's Little Miss Rarity, there's so many of them. You can even watch them from YouTubers like The Lost Narrator, or Scribbler Productions, those My Little Pony fanfic narrators out there. And by the way, I love their work. Like, there's Lost Narrator, Magpie Pony, Scribbler. There's so many of them. I recommend checking them out if you haven't yet. If you're at a huge time in the fandom, they do narrate a lot of My Little Pony fanfics. Some are wholesome. Some are sad, and some are just flat out scary, grimdarks. But their content is amazing. Now, who are my favorite My Little Pony characters, you might be asking? Honestly, if I'm going to be fair here, I like Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash. In fact, there's a lot of people that ship Flutterdash, too, and I have no problem with that. So, yeah, I would be more of a Flutterdash person. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's so many other people that ship them. I know there's some others that ship Rainbow Dash with Applejack and all of that, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're a long-time person in the Brony fandom, you would know all these, and you would know the history of all this. But you got to be wary, though. Yes, there are some people in the fandom that are flat-out weird and flat-out scummy, and I don't support the actions. But, like I said, not all of them are like that. I've met a few that are very, very decent. And, yeah. So, I do have My Little Pony plushies in my room. I've shown them on my other channel. And I do have a giant Rainbow Dash plushie. Now, there are some, in Scribbler Productions, on the topic of her, she is a cool YouTuber. If you like Scribbler Productions, you will see not only does she do fanfic readings, but she also does My Little Pony comic dubs too, and I've watched a few of those, and those are really good. Some are comedic and funny and wholesome to watch. And on to the topic of Lost Narrator, who narrates grimdark stories. And I do remember watching a lot of them. You know, I know the ones like Cupcakes, Rainbow Factory. I remember watching this other one called Butterflies. It's basically Fluttershy luring Pinkie Pie into some... You have to watch the story to know what it is. If you know what it is, then you know what I'm talking about. But it's kind of like a reference to Cupcakes. But it's with Fluttershy fucking killing Pinkie Pie. There's Rocket to Insanity. I'm sure a lot of you will know what that one is. It's basically a Cupcake sequel where Rainbow Dash gets PTSD from having nightmares about Pinkie Pie killing her, and it led to her snapping. Now, there is also a comic dub, a full comic, uploaded on Scribbler's channel of Rocket to Insanity. And not gonna lie, I remember watching it, and it was emotional to watch, but it had a very nice ending to it. I won't spoil much in case for those of you that haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out. What else is there? Like, I know Little Miss Rarity. That one I think was pretty something. Like, I remember seeing the animation. Oh yeah, there's an Apple Sleep Experiment written by Magpie Pony. It's narrated on Lost Narrator's channel. In fact, Magpie has also written a sequel to it too. And if you know what an Apple Sleep Experiment is, if you don't, go watch it. But for those of you that know what it is, you already know it's about Applejack having some sort of potion or something, and it leads to her turning into some insomniac maniac and going on a killing spree because she carries off the anger she has against Filthy Rich that just drove her completely nuts. Yeah, that fanfic was something, I'm not gonna lie. And the sequel itself was pretty something. And I like the ending to it with, Apple Bloom explaining that she was the one behind getting the rest of the main six all crazy the whole fucking time. But yeah, other than that though, I do like the Brony fandom. I respect those that are My Little Pony fans as long as you're decent and you're not a degenerate, you're not a scummy menace, and you're not some sort of weirdo that, feeds off kinks and shit. Like I'm not a person to kink shame or anything, but if you're into that stuff, then I would highly respectfully appreciate if you just keep it to yourself, because not everyone wants to know your weird kinks, because I know I'm not really into that stuff, and that's just me. But like I said, I'm not a person to kink shame. There's nothing wrong with that. But if someone doesn't not everybody wants to know that shit. So that's why I say, some people don't want to hear it, then I suggest keep it to yourself, especially if you want to avoid controversy happening to you in the future. And don't be weird with minors with that either, because that'll get you in a lot of shit. But yeah, I don't know if there's much else to cover about what I think of the My Little Pony fandom, other than I do like it. And yeah, I am friends with a lot of bronies. Many of them are actually decent, and there's a lot of them that tend to have their own pony sonos, and I do like their pony sonos. Hell, I've literally met like 2 bronies that are actually in a relationship, and one of them is the reason why I'm trying to do better. I've mentioned him on my other video of my return. He knows who he is. But, yeah, off topic, I know. But, like I said, I've met a lot of people that are bronies. Not all of them are bad. But anyways, I think that's everything I have to cover on here. But yeah, if you like this, and if you're any bronies out there, for those of you that are decent and are well behaved in the fandom, you're awesome. And yeah, I think that's all I got to cover here. I do like the MLP fandom. So yeah. like how how the fandom still lives. There's still a lot of My Little Pony grimdarks out there that I've watched and some fan fictions I've seen. I like seeing those shipping fanfics, so I think those are wholesome. Like Fluttershy x Rainbow Dash is a good ship. I like how the two of them have some sort of bond with each other, and Rainbow Dash is always encouraging her. Oh yeah, if you remember that episode though called Hurricane Fluttershy, you know how Rainbow Dash tries to encourage Fluttershy to be strong. Oh yeah, and that's another. There is another fanfiction, My Little Pony Grimdark fanfic that I remember watching. It was called Silent Ponyville. There is an entire series of it. It's basically a reference to Silent Hill. I have seen the first, second, haven't seen the third yet, but I've seen bits of the fourth. I think the second one, though, that has Fluttershy is actually pretty sad since it involves Fluttershy's relationship with her mom and dad. You have to watch the fanfic to know what it's about, because I won't spoil anything for those that haven't seen it before, but it's a sad one. I think I remember tearing up a few times, watching it for a while back. Yeah, it's something. There's a lot of grimdarks that Lost Narrator has on her channel. Like, if you guys ever want to check her out, she's still on YouTube. Like her, Magpie, Scribbler, so many of them I'm sub to. They're awesome. They're very awesome, and they do such amazing work with their content and everything, and they're well respected in the fandom, I can tell. And I've been a fan of them for like a long time, since I've been in this multi-fandom community. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, of what I think about the Brony / My Little Pony fandom. I like it. I just don't condone the toxicity in the fandom. Now, keep in mind, I do like the fandoms, but I do not condone the toxicity within communities. I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. And I'm a person that's not fond on drama. I don't do drama. And I especially don't tolerate degenerates that are scumbags and menaces that can break the law easily. So, when you're in these fandoms, some people these days, they gotta learn to fucking behave themselves, Like, don't be doing fucking toxic, scummy shit or nasty shit behind the scenes, because that'll just get you in shit and lead you to having conflict. You'll end up having controversy in the end. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys whenever I feel like uploading again. And as always, have a great day, night, wherever you're at. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in my next upload whenever I feel like uploading again. Bye.